Hey guys, welcome to another video with your host Firestone, and today I am going to review a software called Win10X Pre-Installation Environment, or Win10XPE. Personally, I like to call it Windows Pocket Edition because you can take this anywhere. And here's why. Before I begin, do not mind the black bar here where I'm circling my mouse. This is a 5-minute free recording software that I found online because my software that I use on my computer for some reason is bugging out and it's not working. So, hope you don't mind. I'm just using this software for now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get started. So basically, Windows 10 XPE allows you to store a lightweight operating system on a flash drive. On this lightweight operating system, you can add your own software as long as it's supported by the Windows 10 XPE software. So, on the software, it has its many options. It already has its own software that you can download onto it, which we will review later. Then once you are done building your own operating system, you can burn it onto a flash drive. And then, after you eject the flash drive, you can take that flash drive and put it into a computer, turn it on, and boot from the flash drive by pressing F12 upon boot, as you see on screen, to load up your menu and select your flash drive. This will allow you to then boot into your lightweight operating system. You can download Win10XPE by going online and searching Win10XPE. I got my version of Win10XPE off of the oven.org, which is a website containing a bunch of different versions of Windows 10 XPE. As you see on screen here, I would recommend doing your research first to ensure that your computer does not get messed up. I do not take responsibilities for anyone's actions. As you can see here on screen, like I said, there's a bunch of files relating to Win10XPE. This one here is the one I used by Hardcell. You can see there's even some from, there's all sorts of different Win10XPE you can get here. This is not on Microsoft's website from what I believe, so like I said, you'll have to do your own research to find out which Win10XPE works for you. I wish I had it on Microsoft's website. Okay, so unfortunately we're going to have to do the old-fashioned hold the phone up to the screen to record type of ordeal because my computer doesn't want to record tonight. But anyway, so this is the screen that you will see whenever you launch the program. In order to launch the program, you must go into the folder here that you get upon downloading, uncompress it, click on it, and run this right here. This will load up the screen. It might take a little while. It might take a few minutes. It might take a few seconds. But anyway, so this is the screen you will see. And we're just going to go over the basics of this. I might cover more of it in a different video, but as you can see here, we have a bunch of apps here. So before we begin, on here, you want to select the Windows 10 or 11 source folder. Yes, this also works with a Windows 11 image. So in order to do that, you will want to mount a Windows 10 or 11 ISO file on your computer and then select it by hitting this button As you can see here, it says E:, and that's because I've selected the E drive because that's where I mounted the Windows 10 11 image. You have to do this before you continue with anything else. So yeah, if you ever want to mount an ISO file, all you have to do is just select the ISO file, right click it, I said right click it, and then just hit mount. Simple as that. And once you mount it, it will be assigned a drive letter, which in this case is E, and that's what you will use whenever you hit select the Windows 10 11 source folder. So here, this is the different type of software you can actually install on your personal operating system or your lightweight operating system. However you want to call it, it's an operating system. So if you want to install it, just check the box beside it. I wouldn't recommend installing all of it. And then once you've selected the programs you wanted, you basically hit play. And of course, if you don't select the ISO file or the mounted ISO file, this is the error you're going to get. But for some reason, this program forgets that Another thing I want to mention about whenever you go to build your OS. So if for some reason you get an error while the build is processing, make sure to document when you get the error. As you can see here, it is currently processing this LibOffice thing. So if we were to get an error on that screen, then we know that it's the lib software that's causing the issue. Same goes for any other software that you install. If you get an error while it's on that said software, then most likely it's the software itself. So make sure you check back on that. Alrighty, so as you can see here, it is finishing up. You'll see that a command prompt has loaded and it is currently working on getting the operating system ready. So after you mounted the Windows 10 or Windows 11 ISO file and you have checked off all the programs that you want on your Pocket operating system, next thing you need to do is get a flash drive. The size depends on how many programs you have installed on your Pocket operating system. But this one here is a 64 gigabyte one. I don't think you'll need that many. Like I said, it depends how many programs you install on your Pocket operating system. So what you want to do is you want to plug it into your computer here, like so. And just an FYI, make sure the flash drive is wiped, or else the program will probably wipe it for you. But case in point, do not have any data on your flash drive that you want to keep. So whenever the build is successfully built, it will bring you back to the screen. So now what you want to do is you want to go to create ISO here on the side. And you can either create an ISO image, create bootwim, or whatever. There's a few different options here you can choose. But what I'm going to choose here is the Rufus option. So if you have Rufus installed, it will automatically pull up Rufus. And yeah, this is just information to make sure that the the partition scheme is MBR, target system is BIOS or UEFI, and the file system is FAT32. But this should Rufus should automatically have those settings loaded up, but this is just in case. Yep, FAT32, MBR, BIOS, and UEFI. So everything here is correct. Volume label, I'm just going to call it Windows PE. So make sure that this is targeting the flash drive, which it is because I also named the flash drive Windows PE. So now we are ready to go. Hit start. Yep. All data on device will be destroyed. Alright, so once it's done, it will say ready here. We can close Rufus. I'm going to close this. And now you can safely eject your flash drive by right-clicking this icon here and hitting eject right here. This will safely eject your flash drive from your computer without corrupting any of the data on the flash drive. Alrighty, so just like you saw in the first part of the video, we're going to take the flash drive here. We're going to insert it into an open USB slot on the computer. And now, with it inserted, we're going to turn on the computer and mash F12 on the keyboard until the computer brings up the one-time boot menu. So one-time boot menu, it will allow you to boot from a separate device or the network. In this case, we're going to boot off of USB storage device. So we're going to click on this. So one thing to note about the Pocket operating system, nothing can be changed on the operating system after you plug it into a computer. The only way you can change the software on the operating system is by using the Win Builder software. That's the only way you can change the programming. Other than that, any changes you make on the operating system will not be saved. Okay, so with the computer almost loaded up, once it successfully loads files, you're going to see the Windows icon one more time. It may look a little bit different, that's because it is. Configuration is in progress. The background screen's not going to look the same like it is on mine, but as you can hear, that's the jingle that it successfully started up. So as you can see here, here's some of the software that I have put on the operating system, the Pocket operating system. So this is completely off of my flash drive, believe it or not. So yeah, you can initiate a software, any of these. Like, I'm gonna go, this is a software I created on my own called ScriptMeow. It's actually a batch file, but one thing I love about this is that once you fire up a software and you tell it to do something like ScriptMeow, you can actually unplug the flash drive and the system's not going to get mad. So yeah, see, it's going to continue its process, even though I unplugged the flash drive here. But after it's done completing its process, then that's when the computer is going to get angry at you. And you won't be, I don't think you can do anything else. Let me try loading up, mini tool. Yeah. Mini tool's not loading, or Okay, maybe it is. So, yeah, so that proves me wrong. I thought I'd get upset at you. But before I conclude the video, I'm going to show you something here. So, you might be wondering to yourself, isn't this going to mess up my computer in any way, shape, or form? No, it's not. And I will prove it to you. So I am going to restart the computer with the USB drive unplugged. Or not, I can just do it manually by hitting restart. And as you can see here, here's the normal Windows icon. I guess the computer was restarting, it was just taking a while. So yeah, this will not affect any data on your drive whatsoever. See, the normal operating system popped up. So yeah, so that is Windows PE in a nutshell. I will do more videos regarding Windows PE on some of the different various topics I have about it. But yeah, this is just the basics of Windows PE. You can mess around with it, you can do whatever you want with it, but I think this is going to be a pretty handy tool because you can just store all your software or all the software tools on your flash drive that you use if you are an IT person. Or maybe you just need software tools in general. But anyway, so that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. My name's Firestone. Subscribe to me if you haven't, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.